If there is a message for us today, I believe it is to learn to live from our heart in love. These short lessons, hopefully, will help to inspire you to live with purpose, love passionately, and inspire others. We are the change agent our world needs. I'm Helen Toews. Step into the river today with me to explore the mysteries of God. They are not hidden from us, but for us to discover.
Record. Look at that. I love that little AI voice recording in progress. Does everybody hear it? Like, does Oh, okay. I guess that's why they say it. Anyway, so I just want to say welcome. Really welcome. And our apologies for last week. I mean, it was a little bit of a zoo for Gina and Bob and Ed and I were trying. We were away. We were off and on grid. We were in Mexico, so it was a little bit difficult for us. It just wasn't secure at all. And so they gave it the old college try, but we are going to enjoy this week because Gina is willing to put a bookmark in and come back. So thank you for that. Before we start, and I'm just gonna pin myself because I've got a couple of things I really would like to share. We had a great relaxing time. That's what we went for, and it was really fun. But we had two amazing things happen. One, we had a translocation again. This one was really odd because we were in a taxi cab, so there was another person involved. Usually, when this happens to us, it's we're either driving or and just the two of us. But this time we were in a new city and we had taken a taxi cab from our hotel. We're in Boucheria, so it's another about a half-hour drive from our hotel. And so we knew that because we had done it. And then we spent quite a bit of time walking about and then ready to go back into the to the hotel, got another cab. And it was very hot, and so I had water and a canned drink for Ed. So we just left the taxi stand, and I said to Ed, "Would you like me to open a drink for you? Because I'm going to have one." And excuse me, he wanted one. So I'm in the time that I reached for the in my bag for his drink, and then I opened it and I looked around and I said, "Ed, are you paying attention? Because I think it's happening again. I think something's going on here." And by the time I had opened the drink and he took it and started drinking, we were we had gone from the town back to the street where the hotel is on, and the whole trip took us under 10 minutes. So that was very odd. It was fun. We knew it was happening while it was happening, which is kind of fun. That's just the second time that that's happened. But it was an odd feeling to know that you're in the middle of I just it's like a wrinkle in time, right? Where you go from one place to another. That was really fun. Uh, and so we marked that one. That was just the beginning. Then we had the strangest thing happen. We were on a second floor in condo, and had there's no screens on the windows. In Canada, we have screens on our windows, which is why it's kind of odd not to. And and so we'd had the patio doors open most of the time because the weather was gorgeous. And Ed sitting at a table, and this black butterfly came in and started circling around Ed where he was sitting. He was sitting at a table, and around his feet, and then he disappeared. This butterfly, I'm going to use my hands, was using my hands this big. That's how big it was. Easily a 4 or 5 inch wing spread. Ed didn't see it. And I went, Ed, there was a black, very large butterfly flying in this room. It disappeared. Next morning, I there were there was a there were two beds in the bedroom that we had, and the beds were wooden frames. And I said, I found the butterfly. The butterfly had gone under the other bed and was just sitting there. So I was able to get a picture of him, and then take it. I took a broom, and he hopped on the what do you call it? The It's not a broom, a mop.
Bristles?
Pardon me?
Bristles?
No, yeah, no, a mop
Oh,
with, yeah, soft things. So he hopped on that, and then took him out to the thing, the balcony. Anyways, it was the weirdest thing, and it was goofy that it was this there, and then it sort of hid till the next morning. So I thought I'm going to do some research on black butterflies, and because I know nothing about that. And I thought if this has, it was very peaceful, really unusual, and there was just no sense of not no real sense of anything. But I when I looked it up, it was very interesting because this article went into different tribes and customs and ancient and up to date, more up to date. And it says I printed this. I also have a picture of it. Okay, look at that. That's Can you see that? Anyway, that's really the size of two hands. It says a large black butterfly appearing inside your home. That was a key in all of what I read. Is a powerful spiritual sign. Different traditions interpret it slightly different ways, but several themes are consistently emerge. Uh, it It's a messenger of deep transformation. Black butterflies are strongly associated with major inner transformations, not small changes, but identity level shifts. Their presence inside your home, your personal sanctuary, your inner world suggests the cycle of your life is ending. Something new is preparing to emerge. Old energies, attachments, or beliefs are being released, and deep phase of healing or awakening is underway. And it says often people see black butterflies during grief, major life transitions, spiritual initiation, and moments of intuitive expansion. Um, there's I'm not going to read this. There's a whole bunch on it. Uh, One, it says a loved one or guide sending a signal. Many people report seeing black butterflies during moments when loved one in spirit is close, messenger or reassurance is being offered, guidance is trying to reach your awareness. It was interesting because it was the 9th anniversary of Susan's passing that this all happened. And I'm not reading more into it than it is. These are our thoughts and articles, and but I did feel it's actually very encouraging because so often when you think about something, black and ominous, and it's a beautiful butterfly. It has amazing markings, but they're all dark. But everything I read about it says black doesn't mean negative. It means mysterious, hidden, and unseen. The realm where changes begin. So how's that? How's that? Have to go to Mexico for black butterfly. Anyway, I want you to know I just wasn't walking beaches. I was there. It's funny. Carolyn it came on quite early, so we had time together. And both of us are feeling we're in this stage where we're living in and out of the things that we are talking about. It's not like we're not looking for a door to walk through. We have walked through the doors, and therefore that's where we are. And it's a peaceful, it's an exciting feeling of just being, isn't it? And I'm sure if we went down the line tonight, that there are a lot of us that are experiencing that kind of thing. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me in this. I'm going to unpin myself now and invite Gina. I'm not going to introduce her. You all know her. And for those of you who are catching up and you don't know Gina, by the time you finish tonight, you'll know her. So I'm going to remove myself here. And Gina, I'm going to pin you so that I'm getting so good at this. There you are. There you are, my darling.
Oh, great.
And I've got a squeaky chair, so I'm going to mute myself. I'm sorry about that, guys. Um, anyway, thank you. Thank you for trying last night. Thank you, or last week. I know how frustrating those things can be, but you're good sports about it, and everybody's cool. So thank you for coming back because now I'm not missing anything.
Great.
Love you,
Well, I
darling
didn't
girl.
miss anything except a
Over.
bunch of confusion, so whatever.
Okay. Over to you. I'm going mute.
Thank you.
Okay.
So good to be here finally here this week. And um, I just wanted to say that what a great experience in Mexico. Wow. Very encouraging. How fun is that? Ah, beautiful. So I'm going to talk about tonight the mechanics of heart brain coherence and prayer, and why this understanding is so critical today. Um, I want to share because I want to share what's been sort of rolling around in my heart and rolling around in me, my mind and my heart. I've been pondering my willingness to expand, meaning my ability to allow something different in me in order to get a different result. I feel that if I'm going to reach my goals spiritually, which of course translates and transcends into my physical reality, having those goals realized in real time, then I need to change my actions and I need to change my thoughts. I need to change my feelings, my emotions, my energy. I need to change my consciousness, my outlook, and basically my state of being. It's not about what we have to do, it's about who we are. And I say state of being very purposely because we are beings, not doings. I don't want to come on and say, I think we should start doing this and doing that and trying this and learning that and blah, blah, blah. It's who we are, it's what we already have. And I like that, Helen, you and Caroline were talking about before the Zoom today. Just being what you're doing, that's exactly what I'm talking about here. So we are bioelectric signals and codes in this electromagnetic universe. We are the only beings in our planet that have the ability to self-regulate, meaning to regulate our beings to a frequency of love. And that is what we've all learned already, zero point 0.1 hertz. And I want to poise myself and my spirit, my soul, and my body into the position to change my perception of my spirituality in order to change my physical reality. And I say this because nothing will happen or change unless it comes from within me. I am the technology to bring about change in my reality. And maybe we're content with the status quo, and that's totally good. But For me, I'm here to share my story of frustration with what I perceive as God and all of his energy and teaching to change a thing, to change a reality into the corresponding resonance of what I know and what I perceive in my heart. So all that I want in my real life. I want it manifest. That I'm actually capable of doing that. I know I am. So great. Let's do it. So that causes me to search for a truth then, to search in myself, to go within me, to bring about a different and desired outcome. I want to make the unknown known. So with that, I'd like to talk about the mechanics of heart brain coherence. Just want to give you a little background of why I was talking about this. We've heard about heart brain coherence before. We've heard about prayer before. We've heard about I am the technology. We've heard about all the stuff I just said. I get it. But I want to talk about how it relates to prayer. Prayer intrinsically being the vehicle of change. So how do these two work together, and how do we bring about that? How do we be that? Ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall be opened. Seek and you shall find. We, of course, have heard of heart brain coherence and that prayer before, that scripture before. I'd like to explore the mechanics, the underpinnings, the workings of heart brain coherence, and how it fuels our prayers to bring about the change that we want, that we desire, that we know is true. I'll be referring to Greg Braden through this talk because I have found no better teacher about all of this, or no better explanation for this critical information. But I would like to stress that this info, this knowledge, could be completely useless without the choice to initiate the techniques and the practices in our own very beings, to experience it, to engage with it, to interact with it. If we don't want to, that's all cool, no biggie. But for me, it's come down to my sincere cooperation being necessary. I'd like to first of all talk about the human heart. Our heart has 40,000 specialized cells, and that forms a neural network called neurons in the brain, neurites in the heart. They do the same thing. This neural network in the heart thinks. It feels. The neurons in the heart remember. And the neurons in the heart do all of this apart from the function of the brain on its own. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Love that scripture. Because it didn't say, as a man thinks in his brain, so is he. He said, thinks in his heart, implying that the heart thinks and does. Science has caught up to that. Every experience we have is registered in our brain, and every experience we have is registered in our neural network of the heart. We humans are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our biology is so sophisticated and so advanced, and we can self-regulate to 0.1 hertz, to the frequency of love. Our biosystems, we can take our biosystems and put them to that frequency through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our emotions. We can change our biofrequency through our beliefs, our breath work, and our focus. Through our hearts and our brains together, as one. So self-regulation, refer to that. What is it? It's the ability and desire to harmonize, bring together in resonant beauty the heart and the brain. Bringing two separate organs together into one powerful and potent system in the body. To me, that kind of sounds like spirit and soul coming powerfully together in the body. It's a powerful way to replenish and fuel our life reserve. When choosing to self-regulate, we open up our sacred way and we open up our higher selves to reach our highest potential. That's the reason. To fulfill our purpose here. That's also the reason. To make the unknown known. That's also the reason. We need it and the world needs it. Just how we choose to live in the environment we provide for ourselves, we can foster a new perception of our lives and therefore a new result. We live stressful lives, especially now because of all the uncertainty that we are surrounded with. Finances. Can I get a mortgage? Can I retire? Can I afford school or groceries? Can I remain healthy and eat pure, non-toxic food? Can the government straighten out? And on and on and on and on. We all have our stresses. I don't need to name them all. Stress depletes our entire biology. It affects our state of mind, our state of being, and how we feel in this world. But there is a remedy, and there is an answer, and that is Heart Brain Coherence in a very simple solution. It can quickly and powerfully lead us into our inner truth, causing us to remember through our heart and our brain and the neurons that work there, causing us to remember who we really are, how we really can feel, and just how much capacity we have at our fingertips, our antennas. Our heart's nervous system is directly involved in the heart-brain harmonization technique. We have cardiac neurons in our heart, and they communicate with our brain. This action is self-regulation. And this is where we discover the mechanics and science of the technique. And by the way, we don't have to do it. It happens. It's part of our being, which I love. We just need to know it. This is where we truly stand in our inner selves to change our frequency to that of the system of the earth, to be one. There are two locations in the heart where the heart neurons are. Imagine with me your heart. Okay, so, your heart kind of looks like that. These neurons are right at the top of the heart. The first place is near where the valves of the heart open and close, sending blood to the body. The second location, where the neurons are, is where the arteries and blood vessels enter the heart so that the blood can go through the heart. These are gateways. The manner in which the valves open and close sends a pressure wave every time the heart beats. And the pressure wave, or frequency, wave, right? Frequency, same thing, tells the body what kind of chemistry to release. Oh, I love this. Because the body's doing this all on its own. We're not, it's like breathing or blinking your eyes. You don't have to do it. So what does this mean to us? However you feel, whatever are your emotions or your thoughts, whatever is your energy, these pressure waves with every single beat of your heart send the corresponding chemistry, corresponding feeling or emotion to your body. It is the neurons in the heart that react and then respond to your feelings. The neurons in your heart react and respond to your thoughts, to your emotions, and to your state of being and your state of mind. So, how do you feel in this world? Are you anxious? Uncertain? Are you faithful? Are you loyal? Are you trusting? Are you sick? Are you well? Are you fearful? Are you brave? Those feelings communicate with the neurons at the top of your heart to regulate the type of wave or the type of frequency being generated, and therefore the type of corresponding chemistry being released in your body. This creates harmony or chaos, depending on your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your beliefs and your state of mind and your state of being. You get to choose that. That's the difference. Humans get to choose. It's not about, oh, it just happens. They get to choose those feelings. Self-regulation is self-regulation is us creating, there we go, harmony between the two organs into one coherent. And self-regulation allows the possibilities and the potentials that would otherwise not have occurred to us unless we consciously joined the heart to the brain. So if we haven't consciously, I'll just sum that up, haven't consciously joined the heart and the brain in heart-brain coherent harmonization by the way, the technique that we all know and we've learned and we know how to do, we may not have otherwise had some certain thoughts, witty inventions, ideas, revelations, understandings. They may not come to us because our heart is not connected. Self-regulation is establishing a link or a signal from the heart to the brain at the low frequency of love, 0.1 hertz, the frequency of harmony, frequency of love. This 0 frequency sets us in heart-brain coherence, one with the earth in her electromagnetic field. This allows us to align our frequency with the actual frequency in hertz of our planet. This is how we love ourselves. We become one. So, how then does this technique relate to prayer? The code or the signal to change things. Well, I'm so glad I asked that question. So, Greg Braden tells this story about his Native American friend who asked him if he wanted to join him to pray. Now, as I tell you this story, even though you've heard it before, or maybe you haven't, I don't know, but if you have, as I tell you this now tonight, listen to the words that I stress. I'm going to go like that. I'm going to stress them in a quote. These will connect the dots of truth for us. Ready? Once upon a time, there was a Native American guy who called up his friend Greg and asked him if he would like to join him at a sacred site to offer a prayer. It was in 1990 during the worst drought in New Mexico. So Greg decided to go. with his friend to the sacred site to offer a prayer of rain. The native guy stepped into the circle of stone with bare feet and closed his eyes. He honored the ancestors and all the 6 directions. And he held his hand over his heart for a few seconds. Then he opened his eyes and casually asked Greg if they should go get a bite to eat because he was hungry. Greg was confused. He thought that his friend was going to pray for rain. And he asked him about it. Well, what? He was confused. The Native American guy responded by saying that if he prayed for rain, rain would never happen. Because the moment he prayed for rain, he would have communicated to the universe that rain did not exist. So Greg, still confused, asked him what he did when he closed his eyes. And his friend said this: I closed my eyes and I felt the feeling of what it feels like when it rains. What it feels like to stand with bare feet in the sloppy, wet mud. I smelled the smell of rain when it rolls off the earthen walls. I felt what the corn stalks felt like on my naked chest when I walk through the cornfields. And the corn is high because of all of the rain that caused the corn to grow. Then the native guy gave thanks and was grateful that the rain had already happened. Greg understood. We can choose to initiate the idea of prayer as a technique, not as a desperate ask or a frantic beg, but a vital and extended part of our inner coherence work, deployed by our inner and sacred and higher selves so that we can live and move and have our being in our Christed light. We can correctly conclude that who we are and what is the universe is a field of energy that changes. It reacts and responds to what we feed it by our feelings, by our emotions, by our heart's pressure waves, by our state of mind, by our energy, by our state of being. Prayer is not a noun. It's a verb. And it ultimately affects and shapes and creates our reality. In this field of energy, there is potential, and all the possibilities are already there. We've heard this before too. All things are possible to them that believe. Believe what? Feel what? Think what? All the possibilities already exist in the field as quantum potential. So what possibility do we choose to image? What possibility do we actually choose to focus or to believe or to feel? Prayer is actively choosing to hold an image in our heart brain, the intention, the outcome, and choosing to feel it with our senses. We energetically reach into all the potential realm and find the one possibility that we focus on and hold in our heart. Then what happens? The energy and resonance that we've chosen, that possibility that we grabbed out of the potential realm, out of the potential, that possibility starts to pulse. That one, we focus on it, we image it, we hold it, and it starts to pulse in place. It has awakened, and it is alive, and it's vibrating. It is giving life to the possibility that we have chosen, to the feeling that we feel. That pulsing and vibrating represents physical matter. So don't let it go. Carry it with you. Carry it in your heart with every beat, with every pressure wave, so that it will release in your body, release into your being the same corresponding energy. See where I'm going here? It will release the same corresponding chemistry into your very being. An offering of prayer, then, mimics what your heart is feeling. It mirrors the chemistry that is being released with every beat of your heart, the pressure wave sending out love and harmony at 0.1 hertz. Feeling is the prayer. The emotions that we have and the ability to feel on demand, let's say in an intention, the step 3 of that, these feelings in the heart begin to send a signal to the brain. Heart and brain communication through the vagus nerve and other nerve bundles that we have in our body. But that's actually how it works in our bodies. There's a little side note here. Our nervous system, nerve bundles through our neurons, and our electrical wires, our frequency, carry the information because we are the body electric. Researchers were looking into how much information the nerve bundles and the vagus nerve could actually carry through the neurons from the heart to the brain, not the other way around. They found that there is much more information going from the heart to the brain than the nerve bundles could actually have the capacity to carry. So they have capacity to carry information, frequency, from the heart to the brain, but there's a limit. So where does all this extra information come from? Wow, I was amazed with that. So finding out that very thing, that the nerve bundles could only carry a certain amount of capacity of information, the researchers now believe that the information carried from the heart to the brain is actually found in the field. So where are we sourcing all this extra information from? The realm of potential. What? The quantum realm of potential, where we can easily, on demand, reach for the possibility, hold it, feel it, and let it pulse in place and come alive. Wow! I love this. The information exists in the field and is accessed from the field. Yes, the information is communicated from the heart to the brain, physically and electrically, through the neurons and the nerve bundles and the vagus nerve and the pressure waves. But the information is accessed from the field, our consciousness. This is why 0.1 hertz is so crucial and so potent, why we have to get to that frequency in our heart brain coherence and in our prayer techniques. Because we are communicating ourselves to the system and frequency of the earth, to the field itself, to consciousness, and to love. Love conquers all. So, the technique that the Native American guy did, it was connection and harmonization. Step one, he shifted his awareness. He went to the sacred site. He stepped into the stone circle. He closed his eyes. That closing your eyes and that deciding to go to that sacred place is sending a powerful signal to your body, stating that you're shifting your focus from the outside world to your inner self, to your higher self, to your sacred self. Greg Braden talks about touching your heart as a signal to yourself, to center your awareness to your inner self. Same thing. We switch from our mind that thinks and is busy to our heart that feels and that remembers. Step two, you shift your breath. We slow down our breathing, and that breathing, that breath work is the language code to the body and sends a series of chemical and vibrational signals to create the chemistry that matches and mirrors the breath rhythms and patterns. Wow. So we're not just slowing down, getting all chill. We're doing something really important, really scientific, and really spiritual, and really powerful. Step three, we're shifting our feeling. Normally we feel as a reaction to something. Something happens and we feel something about it. But here, and in our capability as humans, we can choose to feel. We can decide. Greg Braden decided to go with this. He decided. He chose. We can choose to create a feeling, gratitude or care, whatever it is, concern or compassion, which are all expressions of love, by the way. 0.1 hertz. The feeling is the prayer. So this prayer technique then is imaging and seeing and feeling and holding the possibility fulfilled. We are, in our heart and our brain connection and coherence, isolating, picking the possibility of the prayer offered in the quantum potential. All that information exists in the field, and this is why we can choose a possibility. All the possibilities are out there. Which one do we want? Choose it. Feel it. Take it. Hold it. Let it pulse into your reality. This process is working whether we are aware of it or not, whether we believe it or not. It's a process that is. Our choices, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our actions, our words, our language become the physical matter of this process. It becomes the outcome. Once the feeling is felt, once the prayer is offered, then what? It's crucial to remember that our words, our language, our codes that continue to direct the neurons of the heart to reach into the field and collapse that potential. The potential, the possibility that we have chosen, and the prayer, and the feeling, and the holding, and the pulsing of that thing. If that's the case, then what words or what codes are we releasing into the field? What words or what codes are we letting the language of the universe hear? Because that's the thing that it's going to respond and react to. Do our words, our signals, align with the work that we already did in heart brain prayer or coherence? Are we staying in alignment, or are we being schizophrenic? Do our words reflect the intention that we have chosen? Do we believe in this exercise? If our words were actually and continually a command to the field, how would we choose them? So now we can really understand that the Native American guy in our story truly asked without hidden motive and surrounded himself with the answer. He experienced the offering of rain. He understood the action of reaching into the quantum field of potential and chose the code that the field actually recognized. Then the field picked up the signal and automatically responded and interacted with it. The Native American created the feeling in his heart, and that was the language that the field understood and recognized. It wasn't a word, it wasn't a prayer, it wasn't a language, it was a feeling. This is consciousness. The Native American understood that all things are possible to them that believe. He understood, whatever you ask in my name, you shall receive. John 16:23 in our Bible, in our translation of our Bible, it says this: "And in that day you will ask me no question. Truly, truly, I say to you, if you ask the Father for anything, he will give it to you in my name." We've all read that scripture. We've all asked and asked and asked again, sometimes without receiving the outcome. Some have reasoned that we did not have enough faith, or that we didn't believe, so it was our fault that we didn't get what we desired, or it was not God's will. But in the Gospel of Thomas, found in the Nag Hammadi, which is the ancient scriptures and translations of the New Testament, in that original Aramaic, the translation of that same scripture reads this way: "Ask without hidden motive, and be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire, that your joy may be full." It's a little different. The translations lost their real meaning through all sorts of reasons, and that really became a stumbling block for us to really understand this concept. But we know better now, so all is well. It's a little different scripture, I know. This one from the Gospel of Thomas more closely describes what and how that Native American offers his prayer of rain, not for rain, of rain, offered the prayer of rain. This for me helps me to get a grasp on the mechanics of heart brain coherence and the quantum physics of prayer. It's not what we haven't heard before, because we have a few times. It's when this information resonates in our hearts and we see it and we feel it with a different perspective, with a shift. This is a sign that we are rearranging ourselves to look and act and be a little more like God. Little by little, changing, deconstructing, deprogramming, and then rearranging, rebuilding, reconstructing, and reprogramming our very beings to who we truly are, to how we can truly live, and how we've really been made to live and be, knowing and honoring and being our greatest and highest selves. We communicate with the field because our consciousness is linked to the field. But more than that, we are in the field. We come from the field. So, not surprising that the information comes from the field. It's already there. We can align ourselves and our very biology to the Earth's electromagnetic frequency of 0.1 hertz through heart brain coherence. We can command our intentional offering of prayer and ask without attachment. We can reach into the field of quantum potential to find the possibility that we choose, that we desire, and we can focus on it and image it. We can surround ourselves and envelop ourselves, our feelings, our emotions, using all of our senses to the intention, to the prayer, to the desire, to the chosen thing. We can image, focus, and hold in our hearts and minds as the energy pulses in place and vibrates into physical matter. Then we give thanks and remain in continual gratitude that the outcome of the offering of prayer has already happened. We seal that intention with our being by responding in the truth of the work, in the faith of the work, in the belief of the work, and in the gratitude of the work. We choose the frequency of our words and our language that only corresponds to the heart state of living and moving and having our being in our Christed light. And I believe that is the challenge of our day. The end.
That's awesome, Gina. That's awesome. That's a great great way of putting it all together. I know that there are lots that have some idea already because we've been practicing heart brain coherence, as you know, but there actually are many that are asking the question, and you just brought it beautifully, beautifully into focus. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm going to bring us into the Hollywood squares and just see how everyone is doing here. Excuse me.
I was just going to say that
I,
it's nothing we haven't heard.
no.
But my heart was reeling in, okay, I do this all the time. What is it that what's the thing I need to tweak? What is it that's going to make the difference? And so I just sat with Father, and I think the thing that really helped me was that if I'm not in heart brain coherence, I wouldn't have the understanding that I might normally. I wouldn't get the greater understanding, understanding,
Yeah.
if I didn't have my heart and my brain harmonized, because that is taking two organs in the body and making them one for a very specific reason, scientifically and spiritually. So that was a big point for me
Right.
to learn.